Barcelona, new faces at the Camp Nou. Real Madrid, what lies beyond the Moopocalypse. And the German champions. We know who they're buying, but who are they selling? Joining me are ex-England international Les Ferdinand and international football writer Peter Staunton. 5 topics, 5 minutes. I'm James Richardson. This is Transfer Talk. Question 1. Real Madrid, who's going, but who's going to follow him out the door, Peter?
Well, there's plenty of reports out there that the George Mendes contingent could depart Real Madrid soon after Jose Mourinho. So that means players like Pepe, Fabio Contrao and Angel Di Maria have all been linked with moves away this summer. So it could be a summer of renewal at the Bernabeu.
There's been a lot of interest from Juventus for Higuain. Supposedly some agreement from his entourage for a move to Turin. Do you rate him, Les?
I do rate him. You know, I think it's 13 goals in 22 or 23 starts this season. So, you know, he stocks high in that being able to score goals. He's just not played as many games at Real Madrid this season as perhaps he wanted to. And as you said, there's rumours that he could be off to there or perhaps Galatasaray or another club that's interested in him. Absolutely.
And of course, a lot of interest in who might be coming in. People talking about Gareth Bale. I don't know if you know anything about that at all, Les.
I'm not at liberty to say, but I don't see Gareth Bale leaving Tottenham come the end of this season.
Interesting, interesting. A lot depends on who's going to be the manager. What's the latest on that for Real Madrid?
Well, obviously Jose Mourinho looks like he's all but departed the Bernabeu hot seat. You've got managers like Carlo Ancelotti and Rafa Benitez even that have been linked with going in there, but I don't know. I don't think it's done and dusted yet who's going to replace Mourinho. All
right, well, let's move on to Barcelona, who are all but Spanish champions and reached the semi-finals of the Champions League, so clearly need to rebuild, Les.
Yeah, I mean, that's the talk after what happened to them in the Champions League semi-finals. Everyone's been talking for a while that Barcelona need to change their style. I don't think they need to change their style. I think they just need to add to what they've got. And perhaps a couple of central defenders, because I think Puyol's been a big miss for him this season. And, you know, a few players out of form. I don't think it's anything too big a crisis for Barcelona. We're just used to seeing them in the finals. Hasn't happened this time around. I just think they need to add to what they've got.
Right, OK. Well, they've got Fabregas, and there's some talk that he might be on the way. But as Les says, central defenders are the key areas, and also maybe a replacement for Victor Valdés.
You know, Victor Valdés, his situation still isn't resolved. He said that he's not going to sign a new contract. Remains to be seen whether he might, you know, renege on that promise and stay. But they have been linked with goalkeepers, particularly Marc-Andre ter Stegen, a young German goalkeeper from Borussia Mönchengladbach, who looks like the second coming of Oliver Kahn, dragging his defenders around the box, pointing people out where they should be marking at corners. A real imposing personality for a young guy. And at the centre-back position, looking to rebuild there as well, and they might be going to Germany too. Mats Hummels last week, he assured Borussia Dortmund before that he would stay, and he said last week that he's made no such promise, that he might not see out his contract. So a player that can use the ball like he can would be very useful for Barcelona.
Right, they've also been linked with Marquinhos, the central defender from Roma, but poor old Borussia Dortmund. Then Hummels potentially on his way. Götze has gone to Bayern Munich, and the word is that Lewandowski is going to be off there in the summer as well. We've had questions about Bayern Munich and what they're going to look like in the future. Pep Guardiola coming in, and people are saying that his first victims, if you will, are going to be Robben and Mario Gomez.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one, because you look at Bayern Munich and you say, how do they improve on what they're doing this season? You know, the manager's done a fantastic job. How does Pep, you know, take them forward? Because what do they need to take them forward? I mean, they've brought Götze already. If Lewandowski goes there, then is it what we've seen Barcelona do for the last 4 or 5 years, become the best team in the world? Is that what Bayern Munich are trying to do now? Are they trying to be spoken about as the best team in the world for the next 5 or 10 years?
No, they look at an awesome position. Transfer listed was the story regarding both Robben and Gomez.
Yeah, I think quite simply because of the style of football that Guardiola purveyed at Barcelona, people who put 2 and 2 together maybe come up with 5 that Robben and Gomez might not fit the template for Bayern Munich. But in the last couple of months, Arjen Robben has been playing like a man who's playing for his future. In the Champions League semi-finals against Barcelona, he arguably had 2 of his best games for Bayern. He was immense. And also Gomez popped up with a goal too. So I don't think it's all done and dusted for those guys, but if one is to leave by next season, I would say Gomez is probably the most expendable.
All right, and rumours of potentially Gomez going down to Naples as a replacement for Edinson Cavani, who might well be moving up to Manchester. Some talk of a move by City for him. Certainly they would have the wherewithal to meet this, what, 60 million odd euros that De Laurentiis is is asking for Cavani?
Yeah, De Laurentiis, he extracted a huge fee from Paris Saint-Germain for Ezekiel Lavezzi last summer, and he's not going to sell his star attraction, Edinson Cavani, on the cheap. No way.
All right, 26 goals this season for Cavani. Also potentially heading to City. Les, we hear a lot about Fernandinho out of Shakhtar Donetsk.
Yes, had a fantastic season. They've just won the league, and he's been fantastic. But he's making noises saying that he wants to leave as well. There's a clause in his contract as well saying that 42.5 million or something like that. And I think Man City so far have only offered something like 20 million. So they're well short of what the next would want. But that looks like that could happen because the player's indicating that he wants to leave himself.
If City are going to start splashing the cash again, are United going to match that with some rebuilding?
Yeah, it's been a funny one so far building up to the summer for Manchester United because they haven't really, expressed their transfer interest in anybody so far. So we've had to go on rumours. So the likes of James Rodriguez, who plays for Porto, and also his compatriot, who's Juan Quintero, who's playing for Pescara, probably the bright spark in what's probably the worst team in Serie A this season. So maybe some new attacking additions just to replenish the options within the squad, because the likes of Ashley Young and Nani, I don't think have stood up to be Champions League or Premier League challenging quality.
Word of Nani potentially being sent off to Turin in a bid to bring in Marquisio to Old Trafford, which certainly would be a surprise. Let's finish off then with a bit of a Goal.com world exclusive, Peter. Have you got anything?
Yeah, Wayne Vesey, our correspondent, come up with Stevan Jovetic, the Fiorentina striker. Arsenal are in advanced negotiations with Jovetic with Fiorentina over transfer for Jovetic. So he's a type of player who I see a little bit of Van Persie in. I have to say he's a very different player now than he was when he emerged. He was almost Messi-esque when he was emerging, but now he's bulked up and he's the focal point of the Fiorentina attack, bringing midfielders into play. And I do think he could do maybe a similar job for Arsenal as what Van Persie did before he left for Manchester United.
That's interesting. You could look at it that way. You could look at it as another creative midfielder stroke attacking player who doesn't actually score many goals, which Arsenal kind of have in abundance.
They have in abundance, but I think when you look at Gervinho's contribution this season, not scored many goals, and not probably created as many goals as they would have wanted. I think Giroud's done quite well in his first season, but I think they need to add to that the attacking options that they have already.
Well, we'll be back with a fresh set of rumours in next week's edition. And if you have anything you'd like us to talk about, then just leave a comment on Facebook, Twitter or YouTube. And also, if you like this, press the subscribe button. See you next time.